Hi everyone, welcome back. We're here again to give you another tip of the week.
My machine's not working, it's not sewing right. One of the problems could be that your bobbin is in backwards. Whenever you put your bobbin in, you want to make sure that it is the thread is coming off into your left hand side, or you can double check it and make sure that it makes a P in shape. And then you put it in. Make sure that it catches underneath your, I call it a tension guide, but it adds tension to your bobbin. So now I've got my bobbin in there right, but whenever you're threading your machine, you want to make sure that the foot is up. The foot, when it's down, the tension disc holds onto your thread and gives it tension. So when you raise your foot up, it opens up and allows your thread to go in there. If the foot is down, when you're threading it, it's closed and your thread is floating on the outside. So therefore, it's not putting tension on that top thread, and that will also cause you problems. So double check these two things. Make sure your bobbin is in correctly. Make sure your foot is up, and now you're ready to thread. Now there's two types of spools out there. There's this kind, just a regular spool, and you want to make sure that you're using all-purpose thread. Don't put in cording or thread that's real thick, because that's going to also create problems in your sewing. So when you're using this type of a spool, you put your spool on, and then you make sure that you have a spool cap. Now, the plastic around the edges of your spools are rough, and if you don't put a spool cap on, then it will catch on there and hang up your thread. If you put a spool cap on, now your thread can come off, and it touches this part and it never gets into the rough part of the plastic. So that's one way. The other type of spool is this type. And if you're using this type of a spool, the thread needs to go onto a spool stand. And let's see if I can find the end of it. With it coming up, and then it's coming off like the manufacturer designed that spool to do. You're going to come across. I've double checked, my foot is up. Now I'm just going to follow the guides of my sewing machine. So there's 1, 2, this right here is where the tension disc is. So I'm going to make sure that I hang on to that just to make sure that it gets into the spots that it needs to get into. I'm going to come up on this side of my arm, my take-up arm, and I'm going to make sure that it clicks and it's in the eye of my take-up arm. I'm going to come back down. Go through my thread guides that are down below here. Get behind there. There's another one on this machine. So there's 2 here. Then I'm going to thread my needle. I'm going to go up and around. And there it's threaded. Now, sometimes people come in with the needle. They put in the new needle, but they put it in backwards. For these machines, and the flat side goes to the back, and you thread it from the front to the back. So now I'm going to go down. I'm going to pick up my bobbin thread. I'm going to pull it to the top, put my bobbin cover back on, and then I'm ready to go. Now, if your machine doesn't have a needle threader, we also have a universal needle threader here, and it works for different machines. And they have, I don't know if you can see that little guy or not, but it has a little bitty hook on it. So if I didn't have a needle threader, or I don't on my machine, I want to go on this side, pull it through, and there I pulled it through. But anyway, there's a little hook on here, and so You have to feed it through this way, through the needle, bring it around from this side to this side, and then pull it through.
Thanks again for joining us for another tip of the week. Take care. Bye-bye.